Welcome back to another episode of the Faces of ROCOR, one of the strangest shows on the internet right now. I hope that you and your family are healthy and safe during this pandemic that we're having. Thank God we here at the Fund for Assistance are still open. Most of us work from home. We don't have a main office. And that's a very good thing. Because like Father Nektariy Yangson, guardian of the Hawaiian Ivran icon, just said in an interview, you can see the interview on our website, by the way. I've left the link in the blog below. He said that in times of uncertainty, in times of fear and chaos, the greatest love we can show is love for our fellow man. And that's the perfect place to begin the final chapter of this 4-part special called Strength in Weakness. A story about Father Nektariy and why he needs your help now more than ever.
What do I want to do in my life? I want to be with people. I want to help them. I want to counsel them. And many times I'm very worried, but when I'm worried, I think about my children. And then I just forget about my fears, about our needs. I just take care of their needs, because if I take care of their needs, God takes care of our needs, and that's for sure. I think there's no other way. I can't see any other way, but just to do what I have to do, and no matter what their needs are, I will always help them, and they know that if they have a need, they can come to talk to Father Nektariy, and Father Nektariy will never say no.
You know, you look at this frail little man. I say little because he's really not a very tall person, but in some sense he's not a little man at all. He's a giant. But you can't help but wonder, where does he get the strength to do what he does? Because everything you've heard so far in this series is actually not as bad as what Father Nektariy has been dealing with in the last few weeks. With the coronavirus pandemic, Father Nektariy is now working 24-hour shifts on some days. 24-hour shifts. Think about that. This series is called Strength and Weakness. It's a play on what Apostle Paul writes in the second epistle to the Corinthians. But sometimes when you read the epistle or the gospel, it's very hard to understand. It's so complex, yet so simple at the same time. With Father Nektariy, when you meet people like him, you start to see what it means to live the gospel, to not just know and understand the scriptures, but to live them. This entire interview, if you read the commentary by St. John Chrysostom and Archbishop Avirki Tawashev about the second general epistle of Apostle Paul to the Corinthians, this interview will open up in an entire new light, I guess. It's spectacular. But just remember, right now, everything that Father Nektariy is going to say is not just a series of little stories. They are all answers. They're answers to the most important question of this interview.
Strength to do what you're doing, both the spiritual strength and physical strength?
Precisely because I have a hard life. I have a hard life. We are isolated due to the political struggle among churches, and I don't want to get into details of this. And I just have to work like a ghetto with our community, and we don't get help from anybody. We are not invited to the major occasions where other Orthodox churches are invited. So it's like they try to put away our presence, and whoever talks about the Russian church, they say, no, they have nothing. They don't even have a church building. They have people, yes, but you know, they're just a bunch of crazy people because they have long hair, they are fanatics, and they really don't know what they're doing. So
this gives you strength?
It gives me a strength to feel that we are doing the right thing, because I see the results in our people. Also, I visit prisons because I am a forensic psychiatrist. So now I am more in touch with prisoners. And over there I have learned a lot about our humanity.
What's the most important thing you've learned in a prison about our humanity?
That we are all the same. Human nature is the same in everybody. It's just a matter of choice. You can take the bad or the right choice. It's up to you. But can you do it? Yes. For good or for bad? Yes, you have the capability to do these things, to decide. So I try to teach my people to do the right choice, to get the right choice. It's not easy, especially in these days that there's so much propaganda on the news against the church. The Catholic Church, Mexico is a Catholic country, is involved in so many scandals. And well, we are wearing our cassocks all the time, so some people think we are Catholics or like Catholics, and they are rude to us. Well, I don't respond to this aggression, because I know that they don't know any better. They didn't have a better exposure to their church. And I try to give a good image of our church. And I give it as a professionist, and I give it as a priest. And this is all I can do.
Father, how do you understand when St. Paul says, "My strength is made perfect in weakness"? What does that mean? Because it sounds to me that it's kind of talking about you. Is it not?
Well, I would say that precisely in your weakness, in your solitude, when you feel helpless, then you experience the presence of God. You know that it's worth it because He's there. He's there all the time, but you didn't notice Him. And He makes you strong, especially because, again, I will say what I said at the beginning, I'm not seeking for any worldly thing. So my strength comes from serving the Lord.
Forgive me for interrupting again. I just want to point out that what you're going to hear next are things that do not give Father Nektariy strength. And if you're anything like me, you might be sitting there wondering, there's a problem here. Because all of these things that he lists right now as things that do not give him strength, these are things that, I hate to admit, I kind of work for. To a certain extent, they do give me strength because they are motivators, but not for Father Nektariy.
Because I'm not trying to make my living, I'm not trying to buy a house or a new car or to have clothes or expensive things. We just have this. This is the type of clothing we have all the time. We don't get any other. I'm not looking for having a big account in the bank. We never have anything, nothing left, because every expense goes away all the time, but we just keep working. Whatever we make, every single penny we make will go not to our pockets. We will give it away to the mission.
This man is counting on your support right now. As I said earlier, more than ever right now. Because with this pandemic, Father Nektariy is both spiritually and medically on the front lines. And now is the time. We just need 200 people. That's it. To give $20 a month. And this man, Father Nektariy, will be able to quit all of his jobs and be in the monastery full time. If you help him right now, not only will you be helping the mission and thousands of people that come there for help, but you will get something in return.
What do we do for our donors? We pray for them on a daily basis. All the names I have, I did not put them away. I keep them in a box, and from time to time, especially in time of need, I pray for them in a molieven or a panihida, and I include all the names. And I will keep praying for them because this is our life, to pray, to guide our people towards salvation. And I'm extremely grateful to the donors because without knowing me, they have been very generous. And some of them write me and they tell me their problems. I find the time to respond. Yes, I do. Even if it is at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, and even if it takes me 1 or 2 hours to respond a full letter, but I do. I do. Because this is my duty. It is my sacred duty. And my life is to wait on God. That's all. If I had more time, I will do more. But I try not to waste my time because it's a big responsibility before God, before the church, before our donors, especially, who are people who give their money and they don't have much, as you said. And I know this because the one who doesn't have much is the one who gives the more. That's for sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this 4-part special, Strength and Weakness. Please go to our website right now and help Father Nektariy. We just need 200 people to donate $20 a month, and this man will be able to quit all of his jobs and be in the monastery full time. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook. Stay safe. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I go back to my isolation with these guys. But seriously, stay safe. Listen to the authorities. You know what you have to do. And again, please go to our website right now. Father Nektariy needs your help. Thank you so much.